Okay, so your title is the impact of Industry 4.0 on organizational performance. So what I would be thinking of is first, what are the variables? How do you measure impact of industry? How do you measure Industry 4.0? Okay. Because frankly speaking, there are two alternatives to doing research. First qualitative and then quantitative. And I think you were first planning to have a qualitative research, and then you were given advice to change it into a quantitative research.
Yes.
So by quantitative, it means that you would have to really think about the variables, think about the factors that would be affecting. Oh, by the way, can you turn on your camera?
Okay, let me join on my phone because the laptop, the camera is being secured. So let me join on the phone here.
Okay. And meanwhile, Meanwhile, I'll be taking a look at the table of contents. It seems in order. Okay, you have the research questions, the research objectives. I don't really see yet here, the research objectives. And then lit review, you have Industry 4.0 and organizational performance, because you would be, which is the independent variable and which is the dependent variable?
The independent variable is organizational performance, the independent variables.
The independent variable is organizational performance. Is it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Maybe
it is.
Right. By independent variable, it means that it would not be affected by anything else because it's independent. While organizational performance here would be affected by Industry 4.0. So in that case, if this is the flow of the of cause and effect, then organizational performance would actually be the dependent variable. The independent variable would be Industry 4.0.
Oh, see 4.0, yeah, sorry about it.
Okay. So here, what I would like to know is how do you define and what are the indicators of Industry 4.0? Because Industry 4.0, first, it's relatively what do you call a term that might not be based on it's a common term, a term used in the community and for the masses, but it might not be something that you would directly be able to academically research. How do you define Industry 4.0? How do you measure it, and so on? So that's what I would like to take a look after this. Now let's see the background. The background, you would be talking about the Industrial Revolution. Okay. You could okay, if you're talking about industrial revolutions, you might as well talk briefly about this. You've put it here.
Yes.
Did you? Okay, but
yes,
right. It's better since you have this. It's better that you explained it. So what is Industry 1.0, 2.0? Put it into words.
Yeah, I think I was explained in the fourth industrial, also known as in the terms. So I think it is a continuation of explanation of it.
Okay, so please explain in more detail the this chart, this diagram.
Okay.
Okay. I'll just to make it easy for you to make notes, I'll just review and then I'll make track changes. And my comments would sometimes be in the form of a comment, sometimes put like this in yellow highlights. Okay, Industry 4.0, IoT, big data, right? Okay, improve efficiency. And okay, quality improvement, supply chain optimization. I'll just quickly browse through this. Okay. So it would be interesting later on to find the your questionnaire later on. So there are two alternatives that you could use. Either you would be using these types of industrial revolution advances, or you might want to use this, for instance. Improvement of efficiency, quality, improvement of quality, optimization of supply chain. You might that might be an alternative way to ask about Industry 4.0. So I was thinking maybe first you have to scan in advance if you are, for instance, doing purposive sampling. So you have to determine the companies that are using Industry 4.0 first. And so you would have to filter out the questionnaire to be just given to those that are using these technologies.
Yes.
Okay, and then after that, you might be able to ask about how their use of these technologies would be affecting their performance, the organizational performance. Now, maybe you would be measuring performance based on how much the IoT or big data and so on would be improving efficiency, maybe improving quality, improving supply chain optimization. Those might be the indicators, for instance, for performance, for organizational performance. But let's see whether there are any journals that would be talking about that. But in this form, in the research question form, it would be really hard to make a research model based on this, because then you have 3D printing, big data analytics, and so on. And then you would need to do a statistical analysis. There are requirements, for instance, how many samples you would need. And then in this case, 3D printing, you would need, let's say 100. You would need 100 companies that do 3D printing, 100 companies that do big data analytics, cloud computing, and so on. It would be great if those companies do all of this together, but I doubt that. Not many companies would be using it all together, especially if you're taking a look at let's say it's of Africa retail to industry. Industry, maybe yes, but if it's from retail, then I'm not really sure. And then research benefits. So I'll just to remind about my commands here. I'll just put this. I'll just put here for instance, just to help us remind ourselves. Okay, the research purpose. Okay, research benefit. The format is correct, but the variables and the indicators maybe you would have to revise. Research benefit goes after research objectives or research purpose. Research purpose is also fine. Okay. And it's actually the same here, right? So,
Yes.
so I'll just move this to the top. Okay. Here, I'll put it here.
Yes.
And then our research benefits, it would be first okay, theoretical benefits, and then practical benefits. So how would this research be adding to the theory of the matter? And practical, meaning how would it benefit those industries? So what do they get from your research, the companies in Africa? Okay, and then literature review, industry 4.0. Let's see.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to know the variables of industry 4.0. How do you measure it? How do you measure whether a company has been using or not, or how well they would be using it? Yeah, this is specific.
If you check it on top, like I was explaining the 3D printing and then big data information and then the the Internet of Things. That's what I base it on, because it's not only I'm focusing on companies. Like basically my questionnaire will be like from like people experience.
Okay.
Like basically yes, I would make it from, like, let's say that people who are in like universities, like people who have degree of master degree, PhD, and bachelor's degree. So I would like to ask them, what do they understand about the indicators? Like, let's say, what do they understand about 3D printing? What do they understand about big data? So if there is a suggestion, and then what makes
Okay, who would be the respondents?
if they want to get into or create a big data, which by making, yeah, with the respondents, like creating to for them to understand what kind of benefit and use I should make for them to understand about the implements of 3D data. For me, like I base it on experience. How many people have their own experience on 3D printing, and then how much students are willing to get into like printing and then other things like that. So if they can use it to, yeah.
Okay. Who are your respondents?
It's let's go to the my how to call it, my sampling data. Can we go to the sampling data at the three?
Okay. A minute. I'll just previous research number conclusion. Hypothesis developments. So I'll take a look at this first. Are there any specific research that you are referencing for this model?
Yes, I reference it from a research from Palestine.
Okay, I'll later on go to the list of references, and please show me which one it is. Research design, primary and secondary quantitative research object. Object is different from objective. So object is what, let's say you're doing a the object might be companies in okay. I'll give you an example later on, because you would have to explain the object and the subject. So the object might be, for instance, in your friend's research, let's say it's a research on e-commerce. Then the case is Shopee or Tokopedia.
Okay.
Now the object would be Shopee or Tokopedia, and the subject would be the customers of that e-commerce system.
Yeah, I think the object is supposed to be the people, small scale business, like the SME, based on the small scale business.
Okay. I'll add an subject. Okay, so keep that in mind. So the objective you have already mentioned on top, so no need to mention it again. And let's say systematic approach, document review, performance in the research, and data analysis, discussion, data source, primary data, interviews, questionnaires, surveys, sampling, purposive sampling. Okay, sampling technique. So basically, all the companies that are there would be the population. How do you choose which company you would be giving the questionnaire to? That's sampling. Now,
yes, I base it on how to call it, my sample. I base it on people who are willing to make like SME business, like retail business, who are really want to get into it, and then people who have experience on jobs, like let's say that.
sorry, your voice is disappearing.
Was working
Or maybe you can turn
who
off
was
one of your
working
devices.
in 3D companies or big data companies, like
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Your voice is breaking up. Maybe you can just close the handphone. That's fine. Maybe this.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry about the inconvenience of my mobile phone, because I'm using two
Yep.
gadgets to talk into one. So
Yep.
I was explaining, like, based on this question, let's go down to the data measures, then I can explain more about what I was trying to explain. So let's go to the table. Like, I had a table that I was trying to explain. Yeah, here. So we have indicators. Like, I base it on the gender, age, and the level of education and the work experience.
Okay. Who would be filling this one? Okay. So here you mentioned purposive sampling, right? Purposive sampling means that you would be giving a requirement for those people that would be filling in your questionnaire, and these are your requirements. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay. First, let's say what was the subject? Sorry, what was the object first?
The object is about how much experience do they know about what is the meaning of 3D printing, like what kind of, if they well know about it, because Africa right now, it is very hard for some various countries to be updated about industry 4.0.
I think the object would be, for instance, companies in Africa that uses in this industry 4.0 technologies. Maybe that's the object. And then the subject. Who are the subject? Those people, explaining the people that would be filling the questionnaire.
Yes, the people who are filling the questionnaire.
Who are they?
I have it here. Like, let's go down.
So are they
Here.
the owners of the company, or are they managers, or are they just employees of the company?
Yeah, they are employees, and then others they are employees, and then the others are others from like various like small scale business, and some people who have experience. One is employees. Two two is people who have experience on what they understand about industry 4.0. Three is about level of education, like people uh, like people who are into universities, like people who study 3D printing, like what do they understand about it?
Okay, do you mean these are the three types of respondents,
Yeah.
or do they have to fulfill all these requirements? Each person has to fulfill all these requirements.
Yes.
Okay. First here, 200 is not the population. 200 is the sample, right?
Yeah, it's a sample.
Sample size. Now, okay, so here I'll just strike this out. And then also the 200. 200,
It's
not
greater than 200, like more than 200.
you mean the sample, right?
Yeah, more than 200.
Okay, the sample more than 200. Okay, that's fine. But then you would have to explain how you came up with the number. Okay. So what's the basis of coming up with the 200 sample? Okay.
Okay.
And then let's say, would you be surveying companies, each individual company? So there would be 200 companies, or is it 200 people?
Yeah, it's people, like people.
Okay, so
More than
not
200 people,
more
not
than,
companies.
not
Because
company.
if I want to go for the companies, it would be very hard for me to get information from various companies. So
Yes.
that's why I base my research on people, like
Okay.
people and then their experience.
Okay. So in that case, each person would be representing a company.
Yeah, each person would be representing a company, or each person would represent their degrees, like their degrees, like backgrounds. Like I have, like people have, I want to base on like their backgrounds and then understanding of what do they understand about Industry 4.0, like what do they understand about 3D printing, like what do they understand about organizational performance in big data. Like
Okay.
what kind of understanding do they have based on their own understanding? So then I will know about their about their respondent, and then how many, like how much population in Africa have people who understand about who understand about Industry 4.0.
Wait a minute, I'll have to find my charger for that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Allah. Okay. So the problem is your dependent variable is, let's see what it is. organizational performance.
Yeah.
So then those people, each of those people has to be part of an organization that uses Industry 4.0 technologies. Now, I don't think that you're planning to do that because maybe not many companies have that yet. What I'm thinking that you might be thinking about making a survey on how on the perception of these respondents of Industry 4.0 technologies. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes. By making a survey, it's after I send my questionnaire from people like from various countries. Like let's make an estimation of like let's say in Africa. Let's talk about South Africa. Like how many respondents who understand about Industry 4.0, and then in East Africa, like who understand about Industry 4.0, and then let's talk about West Africa, like, and then the Northern Africa of like everybody who understand the Industry 4.0. So then I will make my review based on the percentage of various countries in West Africa, East Africa, and South Africa, and then North Africa.
Okay. Which the research model that you were referring to, where did you source it from? Which reference?
This reference, give me a second. Yeah, it's Industry 4.0. Hold on, in 3D data. Where is it?
The name, maybe.
Go up again.
The name of the writer.
Let's go up a little bit. Hold on, give me a second. It's the name of the writer is Sabas Ali, and then Yogzi Zaida.
Sabas Ali. With an S?
Yes, with a Z.
Z.
I think X, yeah, this one. Zoo.
Oh,
No, this one. Zoo. Yeah. Yeah, this one.
Which one? The bottom one,
yes,
or
this
the
one.
number 2 from the bottom?
No, this one. This one. X Zoo.
Oh, Sue XU. Okay. There are 3 articles here. So which one is it?
So can I send you the sample I was using, if possible?
Yep.
On WhatsApp.
On WhatsApp would be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I already sent that. Yeah, this was the sample I was using.
Instruments. I'm trying to find the questionnaire. I hope the questionnaire is here. Okay, there's no questionnaire here, so it would be rather how to figure out how to make the questions. What about the indicators? How do you indicate 3D printing?
Yeah.
Who are the respondents first? Okay, let's see.
These are the respondents.
Yeah, this is the results of the educational and so on of the respondents, but who are they? Are these, for instance, can you survey students, for instance?
Yes, students.
Senior here, the subject would be senior level employees from Pakistan's retail industries.
Yeah.
Including managers ranging from first level positions to top level positions. So I think this would be rather hard for you because you would have to find managers. So if this, that's fine. This is correct. If you give the questionnaires to managers, and then those managers, each of them would be representing a certain company, yes, they can fill the questionnaire. But if you're thinking about giving it to students, for instance, they don't have any company to refer to. Or maybe, let's say for companies, even for employees or managers of companies that do not use Industry 4.0 technologies, then they would not also be able to answer because they couldn't, they don't know the impact because they have not been using it.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, so here and how many? 400 people? Is it more than 200 respondents? Okay, 630 respondents. Online methods, Gmail, and so on. Collected on the website. Okay, so that's one problem. Here, this is just a report of who coincidentally became those respondents, but this is not something you would be using for the purposive sampling requirements. The purposive sampling requirements would be like it said here, senior level employees from Pakistan's retail industry. That's the purposive sampling.
Okay.
And then here I think it might be let's say perceptional questions. Maybe this one would directly be asking, does Internet of Things affect organizational performance? Maybe there are only 5 questions here, asking one of each. But that's I don't think that would be doable because this is usually there would be several several indicators representing each of these variables. Okay. How do you measure 3D printing? How do you measure big data analytics? So yeah, it's kind of like tricky. So something that you might consider is, for instance, to use some other okay, let's see, TAM. You can refer to technology acceptance model. here you can. So this is more about how people accept the use of a certain technology here. So for instance, on IoT or on one particular, no need to mention everything on Industry 4.0, maybe just choose one, robotics or 3D printing or IoT, for instance. Make it more specific. And then if you use this model, you might be able to ask, first you have to sort out companies that do use that. So choose one that is most widely used. And then you can use this model for that purpose. I'll open, wait a minute. I'll give you some more examples in a while.
Okay.